I'm building more software right now than at any point in my career, and I'm barely writing any code. That sounds like a contradiction, but it's exactly what's happening. And if you're a developer who still identifies as a coder, a programmer, this might be uncomfortable. Here's what I mean. I needed an API layer for my projects, something like Directus, so auth, role-based access control, data modeling, and API generation. But I didn't need all of Directus, I just needed the bones. So I built my own. I call it Baseplate. So it has auth, roles, data modeling, password resets, all the stuff you'd normally spend the first few weeks on. Done before I even start. And now every project comes ready to go. The scaffold is already there. And the thing is, this wasn't some massive effort. It was fast because the AI did the building. What I did was think about what every project actually needs. So the structure, the patterns, that's what took the real work. But here's what I'm seeing that worries me. I talk to technical people all the time. People who are skilled, people who've been coding for years, decades. And the gap between us isn't skill, it's orientation. I'm not a better coder than them by a long shot. I just stopped treating coding as the job. The job became what should exist that doesn't. Where is the opportunity that nobody sees because they're too deep in execution? And that orientation shift changes what one person can do. I built Baseplate in weeks, not months. A full API layer that I now use on every client project. That used to take a team. Now it takes one person who knows what the project actually needs before opening the editor. And I think that's where the market is going. One person doing the work of a small team. Not because AI replaced the team, but because AI gave one person with the right thinking the same output. Look, I know this topic sucks, but we do need to think about what the future looks like for us programmers. So if this is hitting different for you, give this video a like. It helps me know that I have to keep on diving into topics like this. But going back to what I was saying, the cycle that works for me now is to build, destroy, and repeat. So build something fast, test it against reality, tear it apart what doesn't work, and then iterate. And then you have to be willing to throw things away. And I think that that's the part most people miss. They think AI means you build once and ship. It's the opposite. AI means you can afford to build, break, and rebuild until it's right. The speed isn't the advantage, the iteration is. And when you work that way, something shifts. The code itself becomes disposable. You stop being precious about it. What survives each iteration isn't the implementation, it's the understanding of what the problem actually is. And once you have that understanding, rebuilding is fast, because the hard part was never the code, in most situations. And that means the future isn't learning a new framework every 6 months, it's knowing what to build in the first place. So if you're a developer, here's what I think. Stop identifying as a coder or programmer. You're a builder, you're technical. And the thing that actually differentiates you now isn't how clean your code is, it's how clearly you can see what needs to exist. The developers who thrive are the ones building things that don't exist yet. Not just for clients, for themselves, treating every friction as an opportunity to make something new. I'm curious though, what would you build if you stopped focusing on the coding and started focusing more on innovating? This innovation is important because the floor moved under me this week. And I shared exactly how that felt in my episode on what happens when AI advances faster than you expected. You can find it here. That's the context. Subscribe. This is Afterwork.